What's good, guys? I am back. Second guest, second interview with, it's been 2.5 years,
Oh, Jesus.
jacked up Carter Deans, world's finest.
You know who it is.
Part of the Babes, current Nui Pro heavyweight champion. You can go check that out on Overplay, link down below.
It's pretty good.
It's for 1 week $6, 1 month
idea.
$10,
It's worth it, that's what I'm going to say.
1 year $70.
That's alright,
Worth
get
it.
amongst that.
Got PWA coming up in 2 weeks, and then the big one
The big one.
with Liger.
Absolutely. I'll be there.
So, what got you into professional wrestling in general?
Oh, listen, I'm just like everyone else, really. It's really boring. You know, you watch when you're a kid and you see it on TV and you just you want to be like that. I had a cousin who was really into wrestling. He had all the games, action figures. So whenever we'd hang out, I'd just steal all these things and, just went from there, really. Just like that early sort of exposure and passion that you get being a kid watching those guys on TV. It's where you want to be, honestly. I just never grew out of it.
So you went to the Farley Dojo for 3
Yes,
months.
I did.
What was that like?
Man, it was hard. At the time when I got announced for it, I really felt like I was king, the best. And the dojo quickly humbles you. They really put you in your place and they really teach you the respect and how you should be and how you should, be around people and how you should hold yourself. And I think that was a really good learning curve for me. It's really tough. There's a lot of isolation, which is not always the healthiest thing when you're going through a hard time, and I think that that's what they do on purpose. So you get mentally strong, but you do these crazy workouts every single day, and they sort of just leave you to sit by yourself, and you just got to wake up and do it for 3 months in a row, and then you eat and you do your chores and all things like that. It's not the best time, but it's really rewarding. And when you get through it, you know that you've done something not everyone's been able to do, and it's a really humbling feeling knowing that you get to the end and that you completed the training, and that you didn't give up, and that you overcame everything that they put you through. And I think that's probably what they look to do. It's probably the point of, why they make it so hard, is they want to see if you'll give up, and I can happily say that I didn't.
Because you're a tough son of a gun from Newcastle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotta love you.
It's because I paid all that money to go there, so I just, I had to stay, otherwise I would have wasted my own money.
So, you reckon you'll get a shot in the American, the New Japan dojo in America?
I don't know, man, whatever. I was scheduled to go to the New Japan dojo in February of this year. But over sort of November, December and January, I was wrestling with a broken arm. But I sort of went undiagnosed for a while because it was a bit of a micro fracture and there was some tendon damage and things like that. So I wouldn't pick up on a normal x-ray. And by the time that, I realized it was bad and I got the MRI and figured out I had 2 weeks to heal and get to New Japan. So it just wasn't viable. When I told Farley's son the situation, he said that there's no point going injured. He just won't make it. He said, just wait and an opportunity should open up. The only problem is that when I went to the Farley dojo, I was sort of part of a revolutionary group, I would say, that we were the first sort of crop that they were actively looking to prepare for the New Japan dojo. And now everybody since then, they've been on that same path. So there's a bit of a line now. I think I just have to bide my time and really do something that's going to impress them. That's why this Liger show is such a big opportunity for me, is that I have no doubt in my mind that Liger-san will be watching, Farley-san will be watching, all the New Japan officials will be watching. So if there was ever a time to impress anyone, it would be that show, to get myself back in the mix in New Japan.
Now, there's been I think something on Facebook, top 10 opponents for Liger, and you're number 1. Would you like to face him?
Oh, it'd be an honor. Liger was probably the first wrestler that ever exposed me to what New Japan even was. Being in Australia, I don't think we don't get that exposure of New Japan. You have to actually go out and really find it. And Liger's that guy that stands out, and knowing what he's done and the influence he's had on wrestlers that I look up to now, because I think his prime was a little bit before, I was hardcore watching wrestling. But I think the guys that he's just inspired and trained, because I know he has a lot to do with the New Japan dojo himself, what he's achieved there, the longevity he's had, and what he's been able to achieve, would be an honor to, be a part of that legacy on sort of what his retirement tour, I would say. We know that he's not going to be around for much longer, so to be in that sort of final showdown would be an honor. And I think I'm in a spot now where I could honestly give him a pretty good match. I know he just got out of a thing with Suzuki, who probably hit him way harder than I can, but I know that I've got that grit, and if Liger wanted to mix it up, then I'd be happy to give it to him.
Now, I remember first seeing you, I think it was PWA 2016, or you were the flag bearer for Jack J. Bonza. That was like.
Was I wrestling?
No.
For the first time you just saw me in general.
I don't know because I think you came out at, I think it was a Go Show or the New Japan tour last year that you came out.
Some of my earliest memories of being on shows were getting chokeslammed by Massive Q when I was a referee at New E Pro. I also was a doctor at Cabramatta RSL when Team Robbie Eagles versus the Nations. I was a doctor.
There.
I helped
was
Sean
there.
Custom, who was concussed.
I was there.
My first real was probably the flag bearer thing when I did the flag, and then I debuted pretty soon. I wasn't around for that much longer before I was on shows, so it's all gets mixed up.
Now, Newey Pro crowds. You're from
Yeah,
Newcastle. What
absolutely.
other crowds like? Because my first show, 2016, Bonza, Moretti, Steel Cage.
Yeah.
That was my first show. So, walking out, hearing your music, and then hearing that crowd, does it give you like chills, or get you like amped up?
It's odd. I've been backstage with a lot of guys. Like you go backstage with Wahlberg, and he's a real hype man. He bangs the walls. He yells himself up, and it's just that how you want to prepare for matches. I'm a bit more zen. I think I just absorb the moment a bit more. Everything in my career's come pretty quickly. I haven't been around for that long, and everything's sort of come in a cluster. So I think there was a period where I was achieving these things, and I wasn't taking in every moment. That now that I do get the reactions that I do in Newcastle and PWA and wherever else, I like to stand behind the curtain and just listen to what happens to the first part of my music, see how things are going. I don't know if I get chills or goosebumps. I know there's been a few moments where I've laid in the ring afterwards that I've just felt it. And when I won the belt, when I won the Rumble, when Quack chose Team Who's to be his partner against the Nations, being there and being out. I think it's more when I'm out there in the ring, looking around, because you look deep into that New Pro room, that room. There's sometimes there's 450 people in that room. There's a lot of people. So I think it's when you're out there and you can see what's going on and you can hear that it's for you, because backstage is just a zen moment for me. I really try to get in the zone, focus on what I've got to do. It's when I get out there and I can really experience it and absorb it. That's when I start to get the moments. I'm not gonna lie, when I won the Rumble and when I won the belt, I was a little bit teary. You just are, you work really hard, and you go out there and you get it done, and then the crowd's it's with you. It's a special feeling, and I would never ever take it for granted.
Where can people find you on social media?
I don't really know, to be honest, because I think all my thumbnails are different. Instagram's probably my best bet, and that's Carter_Deams Pro. That's the one I'm more active. It's my favorite. I think I'm on Twitter as well, but if I was going to tell you my Twitter handle, I'd get it wrong. I think it's WF Carter Deams or something like that. I'm sure if you search me, if you're down for it, you will find me. I am everywhere.
Anyway, guys, thank you, Carter.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, the babes.
Yeah, the babes.
And we're out.